Yo, what up? What up? Man, so check this out. I was talking to my boy, what up, Audacious? And he's like, dude, you ain't done nothing in like 12 days. You need to get off your ass, dude. And I was like, man, I've been on other shows and stuff like that. And he was like, nah, you just need to jump up and do something. So he's right. I've been letting the channel, my personal channel, lax back a little bit. And dude has a point. So I'm going to keep it real and do my thing. So he was like, what subjects you want to cover? Yada, yada, yada. And I didn't really have one to discuss. Sweet. And, but I did have this little plethora of, let's see if I can find it, of these old school interesting subjects and whatnot. So it goes back to, goes back to Aztec, Mayan lore, the folds of life. As you can see, illustrations and such. Full moon, half moon, pantheons. Even gets into, let's see, numerology, Kodos, even how the almanacs were running. So I was thinking about, what up, Al Gore? So I was thinking about fucking with these, like these are pretty cool little subjects, little pieces of how the Ankh works. Oh, the Serpent Mound. That's a good one. Any of y'all Ohio cats? What up, sport? Any of you Ohio cats know about the Serpent Mound? That's a pretty dope piece to dive into. And why not? Let's dive into it. So the Serpent's Mound in Ohio is this like snake-like. Let me see if I can find it again. It's a snake-like mound, right? And it's like, apparently it's like 5 degree or 1 degree or 5 degrees. I can't remember exactly, off of true north. And the gist goes is that when it was built, it would have actually been built about 12,000 years ago. And that was also aligns with the Younger Dryas, right? So for any of y'all that know the Younger Dryas, so let's see, it's spelled backwards. So this would be like true north where the serpent's head is. Each one of these also correlates, the ridges that are on it also correlates with the solstices. And so you went to Angels Mounds in Indiana today. I don't know about the Angel Mountains, Spark, to be honest. You're more than welcome to hop on and and chime in about it if you want. But so yeah, so the way they look at it is it's kind of like the Nazca lines, right? So the Nazca lines are something that you can never see unless you had an aerial view. So what's the point of these primitive people making it when there were no airplanes or anything like that? You know what I mean? So it it sparks the interest, but no bullshit. But it makes you wonder, what's the point of making the Nazca lines? What's the point of making the Serpent's Mound if you can't actually see what it is from a ground level? So it dips into the ipso facto of, are these signs for entities or UFOs that were actually above us looking down? Yes, absolutely audacious. UFOs are in all cultures, not just Indian. You know, they go back to the earliest written times, the Sumerians. You know, and I believe that they predate even the Sumerian lore. You know, I think that that was a cultivation of an ideology or a seen presence in our world that was even more, you know, ancient than that. And that goes into Anunnaki and Nibiru, you know, whole nine yards. That also runs side by side with modern day Christian religion, with, you know, Old Testament. You know, you got Inky and Inkle, and you have the different gods. Well, quote unquote, the different gods of the Old Testament. So, but anyway, back. I digress. See that? All right, look. This is kind of why I don't like doing the show just solo. I like having other people on because it kind of corrals my nugget, you know, like, because I do have a slight, I don't know if you call it ADHD or anything like that, but I'll be like, blah, 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 squirrel, you know, and head off in a totally different direction. But the Serpent Mound in Ohio, and there's a lot of mounds in Ohio, giant mounds, right, where they rhyme with the Mythonian. That's a pretty bad rhyme, but where they came and cleared a lot of these things out, and they were said in old newspaper articles and stuff that they found remains of giants in these places, and then they get wiped out and basically debunked, right? But the Serpent Mound is one of them. And the way it works is kind of like the pyramids. It's so geographically correct about where the true north of the world was, and almost still is, that, you know, if I'm like just a regular dude, say I'm just a dude, right? You know, back in the gap. What do I care about literally making a big ass mound that's going to take me years upon years to do, or even me or a group of people, to make it a giant serpent that even from my literal point of view can't even see and can't comprehend, because it just looks like a big hill from where I'm at, and spend my time and, you know, fuck farming and trying to deal with all the, you know, deal with the daily tasks of life to survive, when you can't just like run to HEB and grab your groceries and shit. You got to be concentrating on next year's food, you know, or saving up for the winter, or doing all that shit, you know. So what's my motivation that's actually gonna make me stop what I'm doing and build this monument and go through this giant task of labor, to create something that's not even visible by my spectrum, you know. But to me, that also ties into just me rambling off my thoughts. You know, that ties into a lot of things that we do. You know, we sit there and we want to be a good person, and we have this ideology of of the next life and being seen as something that's beyond us, right? So like if you just really wanted to be in this life and just do whatever you wanted to do and have no consequence to your actions or anything like that, then you could just do nothing at all, or but there's something inside of us that drives us to be seen by something that we are not, right? Whether it's, like I said, like morality, being a good person or doing the right thing, because we have this human drive, right, that wants us to be seen by something outside of our realm and to be noticed in good or bad. And I think that has like a tie into it, you know what I mean, spiritually or physically. So if you wanted to be seen by UFOs or aliens or gods, lowercase g, then you're going to build monuments for them, and you're going to build signposts that say, hey, we're here, and we know, we see you, we accept you, we want you. It's just kind of like in our nature in a very weird way, and it comes through all facets of our lives. Like people that fucking, like me personally, I hated school, right? But yet there's something that drives you, that wants you to make your teacher notice that you're a good student, or to make your parents proud of you for some weird fucking reason. And I think that has a lot to do with not just within one individual's self, but also as far as cultures and communities. You get these Richie fucks that got the HOAs and they want their neighborhood to be the best. Why the fuck do we have magazines about who's got the nicest lawn and shit? Like, who gives a fuck? Like, if you really break it down, like, what do I care about how my lawn looks compared to Joe Blow's over there? But it's a very real facet about how we are as a people and how we are internally, because we obviously give a shit, or we wouldn't have like Home and Gardening, and we wouldn't have Vogue magazine, who's the hottest chick, or who's the hottest dude of the year, or any bullshit like that. So it comes down to like this narrative of humans giving a fuck about what the people around them think. I know this went totally askew from the shit that I was pointing out earlier, and so fuck it, so be it. But I just find it, mind-boggling, like when your mind's trapped in a bottle. No, mind-boggling about how we care more about perception of us than we care about our own personal perceptions, right? Like, I could give a shit less if somebody has a different opinion on religion, or ideology, or cultural diversity, or what they think about whatever. It doesn't fucking bother me. It's not my bag. But part of us does care about how we are perceived in the eyes of others. I've gotten to a point in my life to where I really don't anymore. I don't really give a shit what people think. I honestly don't. You could love me, you can hate me, because I know who I am. I guess it's being comfortable with who I am and what I believe in, and not caring about what others perceive me as or think about it. But there is a very common drive that drives us. What up, Eve? That drives us to consider, or even go so far as to condition ourselves to where we want to be accepted and want to be held upon praise by another. Which is very freaking weird. You take your whole freaking life, if say you grow up around a bunch of jocks and you want to be a jock, you want to be the very best jock. What up, Ivy? You want to be the best, you want to be the quarterback or the main cheerleader, blah, blah, blah. And but why? Why does mankind or human beings in their own facet have to sit there and want to be accepted by others? That's a very strange concept. I mean, when I was young, yeah, it wasn't strange. It was actually very simple. You want to be popular, you want to be cool, you want to be in the it crowd, blah, blah, blah. But as you get older and well, at least as I do, I find the whole thing fucking ridiculous. And if you don't know the word ridiculous, look it up in the dictionary. You'll find it. But yeah, it's a weird facet that we all actually have, and it's internal. And I don't know if that comes from like a spirituality kind of a thing. Just rambling. You're listening to the mind of a rambler right now, because I don't really have a target of a show for tonight. I just wanted to talk about random shit and, stop starving people of not having any content, because I haven't put shit down in like almost 2 weeks. But yeah, I find the whole thing is fascinating. So back to the lecture at hand. These mounds and these temples and these things that cultures have created that are obviously not seen by the human eye. Number one, like, okay, say let's take the Great Pyramids, right? That's not something that's going to be marveled at by everybody in the world. It's going to be a common knowledge of people that live in the region, but why so vast? Why so much labor? Why so much that's put into it when it's not really going to be considered by your average human being or someone? They're not building the tallest piece like nowadays. We build the tallest skyscraper because we're comparing it with the Sears Tower in Chicago or the Empire State Building, and then it becomes this big fucking this big piss off. You know what I'm saying? Like, who can piss the farthest, blah blah blah. Then it becomes a race, and the race is understanding. What up, Mickey? Thank you for tuning in. But without that commonality or without that competition about it, what's it really about? And you're talking ancient times where they're building these giant structures, these pieces that are not going to be seen by everyone. Only the people that are around you. Because how long does it take you to actually get somewhere back in the gap? You know what I mean? And so yeah, you You want to go by horse-drawn carriage or some shit, you know, just to get across America is going to take you like a year and a half. You know what I mean? So you're not expecting like people to just be cruising down the freeway and be like, oh, dude, look at that building. That's awesome. Nah, never going to happen. And you know it's never going to happen. So what's the drive? You know, instead of spending years and man hours and your entire population of pretty much everybody you know building these structures and excavating and working and don't even get me started on like where they got the shit from, because you know damn well one of those big ass stones that came from hundreds of miles away, you're not carrying that on horseback. You know, you're not. Have you ever seen a freaking horse-drawn carriage from like 1800s? No, it's not going to hold a freaking 20-ton block. So that tells me that it wasn't really us. It was, I think it was with help from these lowercase g's, these lowercase gods. Well, what we consider it as. Now, I'm not saying that they are. What I'm saying is, back in the gap, if I lived in, you know, 2000 BC, and I'm just some lowly peasant that's freaking working in the field, in the wheat field, you know, doing my thing, and some dude comes flying in from the freaking clouds, I'm gonna think it's a god, you know, because it's beyond what man can do, right? So I'm literally gonna go, that's a higher power. That's you know, that's a big thing. It is not. I don't believe so. I think that the fallen angels, I believe that the Nephilim, I believe in the mystics of the world that can trick mankind into thinking what, or how would I say this? Mispresumption of itself. It is trickery, you know. Yes, please hit that like. I was late on that one, Audacious. Thank you very much. I think that they know how to manipulate, they know how to bullshit, and you being a, you know, a dumbass human that doesn't have foresight into the dimensions, into the world as a whole, or the worlds, or the cosmos as we know as a whole, easily tricked, man. Easily tricked. It's like that freaking I can't do it, but what was that? The thumb thing? When you're a kid, you're like, you got thumb, bro. Now you're just, was I? Okay. Let me know if I am, because my internet's been acting stupid. But yeah, it's just the fact that we don't recognize shit. Okay, meow. Right on. Thank you, Audacious. I completely appreciate it. Now I like the meow better. Okay, meow. That's doper. But yeah, so anyway, back to where I was trailing off once again. That's why I like doing it with other people instead of by myself. No, but literally, that's why I like doing the show with other people, because it helps keep me on track. Because I'll just start veering off. But and then you look at the commonalities of all these things, right? And I know we all know this. Anybody who's into paranormal or you know these kinds of subjects, the commonalities are insane. You know, through different continents, which people couldn't have traveled. I mean, they could have possibly, but I'm talking way in the primitive years of life. You know, how is it that temples in South America have the same, you know, human hybrids depicted in the walls as in Egypt? How is it that the Nazca lines in Nazca have the same commonalities as, you know, some freaking mountain in Ohio? You know, there was something, I believe there was something there back then that was before the Younger Dryas. And I also believe that the Younger Dryas was probably part of the mythical flood story or biblical flood story of Noah and Gilgamesh and the whole 9 yards. There's this piece in Wisconsin, right? And they've proven it to be like the epitome of a waterfall ridge, and it has the exact same shit that any waterfall after the waterfall has been dried up and smokes. It has the same signature, I guess you'd say. And this thing is like, I want to say 5 or 6 times as wide as Niagara Falls. Now, for anybody who's ever freaking even seen video, I've never been personally to see it in my life, but anyone's ever seen video of Niagara Falls, that shit's fuck. 5 times that size, 5 times wide. That is fucking insane. So there's evidence of massive amounts of fucking water flowing through the yet it's all every continent. It's all over every continent. You know, in the Sahara Desert in freaking Africa, one of the driest places on earth, there's whale bones and shit. There's evidence of salt from salt water. It was underwater at a point. You know, it's not coincidental for just a certain nation or a certain tribe or a certain people. There's evidence of it everywhere. I'm saying when you get into the cryptid thing or the humanoid thing, you know, every continent has its Bigfoot. You know, every continent has, and not just continent, but thousands of years of it. You know, you're talking 7,000 years ago, they talked about Yetis and you know, the hairy man and by Native Americans, you know what I mean? And then in China, you got, you know, there. So it's not just a grip of. I could understand if it was like Indiana, right? Out of the world, Indiana, see Bigfoot. If just Indiana saw it, then I'd chalk it up as, you know, territorial bullshit. What up, Fisher? If I am breaking my internet's acting stupid, there's a crazy storms rolling through. So yeah, just keep me posted. But yeah, if it was just one region and it wasn't from at one point, that's it. Say they're like, okay, just Indiana alone. I don't know. I keep saying Indiana. there's big sightings from 1812 to 1827, you know, and then that was it. No one ever saw anything else. But if you're talking like thousands of years of multiple encounters, multiple cultures, cultures that have died out, and then other cultures sprang out from the, you know, in the same place, then no, you're not just talking like an isolated incident, and you're not talking an isolated continent. You're talking multiple continents. You're talking multiple cultures, multiple you know, facets of people seeing all the same shit. And it doesn't just stop with the Bigfoot thing. Now you're talking UFOs, you're talking lights in the sky, sprites, fae. You know, this thing is it's too massive to ostracize it or to dismiss it. You're talking something that is bigger than any one commonality. So back to like the license kayaking and yeah, I've seen way too many lights in the sky and UFO. That shit to me. And a lot of them, I divvy everything up, right? I really do. Even when it comes to cryptids, and you got your fakes, you got your hoaxes, you got your man-made shit, and then you got your paranormal shit that's been around longer than the fakes and the hoaxes and the man-made shit ever had the technology to do. The black triangle things, like I saw those in the early 90s, before I ever even heard of it described on the, you know, any kind of unsolved mysteries, any bullshit like that. Like I saw it, and a decade later, you see it on like Unsolved, and you're like, that's what I saw. Right? Same kind of concept. Those, I personally think those might be man-made military operation type shit. I mean, I don't know, and none of us do. But I chalk those up to reverse engineered, you know, UFO type thing. I think that's just man trying to figure it out and doing tests on it. And because if you really were this extraterrestrial or interdimensional race or being, right, that's trying to stay cloaked, right? So you're basically doing cloak observation or experimentation upon mankind, right? The cloaking ability is the basic key to it. So you wouldn't go fly over freaking the entire state of Arizona for thousands upon thousands of people to see you whenever you built a craft that moves silently, is black as night, except for a few lights, and actually, you know, be like, oh, hey, here we are, but we're not here. But we're here, but we're not. You didn't see nothing, but you can record us. That just sounds like some dumb shit that humans would do to me. Not to me, but to me. That sounds like some dumb shit humans would do. You know, and also as a propagation, or what would you call it? A way to see how people would react to it. You know, you go and you put the test in, kind of like the Project Bluebeam type of shit. You go and you put the test in and you see how people react. And then you find out how tolerant they are. And then you just keep pushing the envelope more and more. You know, and dig it. I was watching it, or I wasn't. I woke up this morning and Jen's watching this show called The Goat, right? And it's about all these, and trust me, this is going to go somewhere. It's about all these cats and kittens that were from like reality shows and shit. And they go to this mansion to see who is the greatest of all time. They call it The Goat. The greatest of all time out of all the reality people. I don't know if y'all have seen this shit or not, but it's fucking ridiculous. They have the big mansion. In the front of the mansion is a fountain that has a big golden goat in it, right? When they do their voting and shit for who gets to stay and who has to go, they have this big golden goat. And they feed in its mouth, they feed it their votes, right? Dude literally takes the ass out of this goat and goes through the votes. And they whisper in the goat's ear. They feed it and they whisper in its ear. And then they all carry these keep it, man. They all carry these little bitty these little golden goats. And if they lose, they have to burn the goat, right? They put it in the fire and they burn it. Dude, and I was like, this is some of the most blatant shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, they're not even hiding it anymore. You got the golden goat, Satan. You got the burnt offerings. You got, it's just so freaking upfront and in your face. Like, we're not even hiding behind the curtain anymore. We're shoving it down your fucking throat. And we're shoving the goat down your throat. And it was just ridiculous, dude. And I was like, babe, do you not see what the fuck? And she's like, well, no, it's a goat. It's like the greatest of all time. They call football players and basketball players that shit. And I'm like, yeah, it's a golden goat. And the symbology, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, dude, that's satanic as fuck. The golden calf, the burnt offerings, you know, it's the same shit. It's the exact same shit, but they're no longer like, remember how in, what was that fucking movie, Fight Club? How they would slip it in subliminally in between the little frame by frame and put the cigarette burn marks on it. They didn't know that they saw it, but they saw it. Now it's right in front of your fucking face. And we've just became so desensitized to it that we just go, no big deal. Oh, yeah. Big golden goat whispering in the ear and putting our votes in its mouth and feeding it. And everyone's like, yeah, that's cool. Totally cool, man. No big deal. What the fuck? Like, what the fuck has really gotten to the people? Same thing with the lights in the sky type shit. Now they're even with like, you know, the holograms in the sky, you know, and before you know it, they're just going to desensitize it to the point to where it doesn't fucking matter, you know, like might as well put a fucking dick on a Barbie doll, dude. And, you know, sorry, but I'm saying, you know, it used to be hidden, you know, in plain sight. Now it's like right up front and abrasive and in your fucking face. And no fucks are given and no apologies are fucking handed out. They don't care. And they're just rocking your whole world. without your permission or with the absence of your giving a fuck. You know, you just don't even fucking give a fuck anymore. But anyway, fuck, where was I going? Chat, help me out. Give me something to talk about because I'm just going to ramble, man. And for those that just tuned in, the only reason I'm rambling is because someone got on my ass about the fact that I haven't put anything out in like 2 weeks on my show. They're like, dude, your show's just sitting there. So, but if y'all got anything, man, give me a topic, or else I'll find one. Let's see. Yeah. What up, Joe? All right, so I got this thing from this dude. And he was talking about the number of 3, and this has to do with the Last Supper painting, right, by Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah, I said it wrong on purpose. So the numerology works on the Last Supper as far as the 3 windows in the back. So it's the number of 3, right? So if you actually look at the disciples in it, everyone's grouped into numbers of 3. There's 3 windows in the back. From the left, let's see. Hold on, let me see what he says because I don't want to misquote his bullshit. On the left, Christ sees life, and on the right, he sees death. So you see dismay on the right, and you see vibrance on the left. All the people are aligned in 3. Let's see. Hang on. So he's basically saying Jesus is Lord in life and of death. He is the master. You know, that little OR is for the 15th and the 18th letters of the alphabet. And if you add them up, you get 33, or the number of years that Jesus lived. And that's where the fucking thing stops. It sucks. Look, it literally went from this shit straight into that shit. And so I'm going to have to do some deciphering and figuring out what the hell this dude's talking about. But, so yeah, the number 3 is significant. If anyone ever texts me or messages me, I always do my 3 dots. And apparently it's called the ellipse or something. And Gen Zers fucking hate it. Yeah, there is something to do with the triangle legs. Oh, that. Thanks you for saying that, because that reminds me. I found the fucking alien legs on a $2 bill. Because this dude rolled into the shop and he's like, he's talking conspiracy shit, you know. He's like, oh yeah, just like the alien legs on the $2 bill. And I happen to carry a $2 bill with me in my wallet at all times. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, open it up, check it out. And on the back, there's a freaking alien leg. Like there's a dude with 2 legs, and the third leg is a freaking alien. I swear to God. And I was like, what in the actual fucking fuck is that? Trip me out, man. Hey, Joe, if you want to jump on, man, jump on. Any of y'all, actually, hit me up. I'll throw you a link. Because flying solo is a real bitch. But, yeah, so what the fuck was I? All right. So anyway, the fact that it's all getting put out there. All right, let me work on this. So the fact that it's all getting put out there and in your face and nobody giving a shit about it, just sends a message to how um, non-constructed we are, you know, and how far we've letting everything go. You know, it's just freaking weird. My internet might fuck up because I'm trying to multitask here. So if I'm chopping up, my bad. Do, 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 do. That's cool, Fisher. I appreciate it, man. And Mickey, go ahead, grow up, girl. Um, but yeah. So how far is it really going to keep going? You know what I mean? Like, is it going to be to the point where it's just like right out there and it's going to be a common thing, like putting salt and pepper on your fucking food, you know, to where you have everything that used to be in the shadows right out and open in the front. You know, and a lot of people invite that kind of a thing. A lot of people dig it. You want disclosure on everything. But the fact of the matter is that if they had to hide it at one point because it was too much for us to handle, or if it was for deception purposes, then why would it have been hidden in the first place? You know, if it was something that's acceptable, right? So say that a day in your life, right? You know, and you get hit in the fucking stomach by a boxer, right? Just bam, it's gonna fucking hurt and it's gonna drop you to the ground. If you're a boxer, then you start learning to take blows. You know what I mean? You learn to accept pain. You accept it over time, and it builds up and it builds up, and your immunity builds up. Same with sicknesses or anything like that. You build up an immunity to it to where it's acceptable. Because if it was something normal, then it wouldn't have dropped you to your fucking knees the first time it hit you. You know, you wouldn't have had to have built. We don't have to build an immunity to eating or drinking water or anything like that. Everything else you do. You know, even as far as what we do ingest. You know, be a caveman. Go from drinking freaking nothing but water in the creek or whatever, and then have your first Coca-Cola and see what the fuck happens. Change your fucking life, man. It really will, because you're not going to be used to that shit. You're going to have the caffeine fucking hype, so you're going to be running around the fucking jungle like a god blessed idiot. It's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? Nothing good for you, nothing natural has to be slowly progressed into your life. It happens naturally. Everything that's not natural, everything that's not meant for you as a human being has to be slowly introduced to you. Pain has to be slowly introduced to you. Happiness doesn't. You giggle like a motherfucker as a baby. But when it comes to hurt, deceit, abandonment, you have to develop a thicker skin because you have to get used to it. Hey, Jackie. No, you're not late. I'm just rambling. Totally just rambling. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I was going to go on talking about this stuff I got back here, but I decided that I can't just read and keep up with it, so I'm just reading. Fisher says, once upon a time it was all normal. It was talked about. It's called the Dark Ages. Now people can't handle real truth, in my opinion. I can dig it. Yeah. I mean, I think that when it comes to the old world, say what you will, but I believe in the whole Tartarian mud flood thing. I don't believe that those buildings and the World's Fairs were something that was made out of plaster of Paris and a bunch of bullshit. I think that there was an ancient time where we knew these technologies, where we knew all these things, and like you said, like the Dark Ages, I think that was a big covering up of. I think we had those technologies. I don't think that, and just like I said, nothing new is under the sun. So we think that we got something new, and we're talking our current technology and everything that we got going for us now, I think is still primitive compared to the fact that we had a bigger technology back then. We can't even duplicate shit that was done 5,000-6,000 years ago. We can't even duplicate the pyramids or just the fucking alignment of them. How close they are to true north, and how they align with the constellations, with the Orion's belt and shit. They're literally fixed, and they were done by people that they wanted us to think were fucking chiseling away with fucking rocks and bronze. You're talking like the Bronze era. It's ridiculous to fucking think that everything that we're seeing now is the newest shit we've ever seen. I got Joe Westfall coming on. Finally, I got someone to fucking bullshit with. Bring him on. Everybody welcome Joe Westfall. What up, bro? Can you hear me now? I guess not. I can see you. Can you see me? Yeah. We're gonna do this thing on mime style. I'll give this time shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Thank y'all all for showing up. I appreciate it so much. You have no idea. Still can't hear you, bro. Turn the mic on. But for real, all y'all's support and love and everything, man, it's tremendous. I don't care about haters, but I do care about supporters. I'm just gonna leave him on until he gets the mic on. Go to your settings thing and then go to your audio. Oh yeah, your mic's completely off. Go down to where it says mute. God, I can't stand freaking the backwards. You're game Mickey? I got you. Hang on. Your mic's off, bro. Let me see if I can.
Oh, there we go.
There we both go.
I think you could hear me
There you
now.
are. I can hear you now. What's up, Mickey? How you doing?
I'm beat, dude. Long day at work.
You beat. Hell yeah. I'll feel you on that one.
I can't get. There we go.
Yeah. Today's my Saturday, so I was doing a little bit of day drinking and hanging out.
Oh, dude, I don't do that anymore. I'm too old for that shit. I mean, mess.
Hell yeah.
Can you hear me?
So the week treated you like crap, huh? Yeah, I got you, Joe. You're
Okay,
on.
good.
You're
Good.
live.
Yeah, we got you.
Traumatized by this computer. As soon as I try to do anything with it, it does the exact opposite.
Well,
It's the others.
Yeah.
The others plaguing my existence. What's up with you guys?
hanging basically.
Chilling,
It's my
man.
Friday, so yeah, I'm.
Yep.
Real quick, right before I told you I was game, I went outside because, well, not everybody knows, but I smoke. And I saw lights in the sky then. And I cannot explain them, Joe.
No
Where are you
shit.
from?
Yeah.
Where do you live?
Kansas.
Oh, wow.
And
So
not
that's-
even in the middle of nowhere.
What
I
part?
basically live 20 minutes from Kansas City, Missouri. So I'm
wow.
basically in the metro
Oh,
area.
no shit. Gotcha. Dude, Kansas has a very weird underground territory. Because like back in the gap, like even the original like the gangsters from like the 20s and shit, they used to have big meetings in like underground mines and shit out in Kansas.
Really?
And that's how they got like their Midwest hold. Because go ahead.
Speaking of like the cave systems, like I think that's what you said anyway. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine that I went to high school with, and her mom mysteriously up and left her husband at the time, and come to find out he had pretty much dropped her down one of the mine shafts.
Yeah, the mines are crazy out there.
How did they find that out?
Oh, he finally confessed.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, he finally confessed to it.
Yeah.
Of course,
Now
they never could recover her because the way the caves and the mine shafts are, they're collapsing here and there. There's basically sinkholes. He just basically tossed her in a sinkhole.
Yeah, because they're drilling huge underground dumps instead. They took that idea and really ran with it, didn't they?
Yeah.
Now they have whole cities up there.
We have several, like Joe said, gangsters that, Union Station got shot up. I don't remember when, but yeah.
My cousin lives in Pittsburgh, and he was Pittsburgh, Kansas, and he's the old school man. When we were kids, he used to always study like old gangster stuff. You know what I mean? Like he was one of those cats. And when he got down there, and he about a couple of years in, he was like, "Dude, you wouldn't believe, you know." Thank you, baby. He's like, "You
I
wouldn't
did.
believe all that." She didn't hear. She didn't hear you. She would have said hi. But yeah, he's like, dude, you wouldn't believe that they have like all these basically like where they'd have their meetings and shit where in these underground mine shafts and stuff that they made into like, I guess little offices and shit, meeting places. So because that was their, I guess, their halfway point between there and Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
There went that thought. Like I said, I'm that tired. Well, it's like when and it's kind of politic-ish. When 9/11 happened, the president's plane was here in Kansas. It wasn't where they said it was.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, they hit out here.
They said they were flying around up in the air on 9/11, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, that would be weird. I mean,
well, we have Fort Riley, and we have a couple other little military army bases here. So
yeah.
Kansas is, it's like a midway point for stuff like that. Or like Joe said with gangsters, it's just the state of Kansas is just weird, period. And I've talked about this on PRT before about how, we've got different haunted locations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's almost like the Bermuda Triangle, but not.
Right. Yeah, and that the arch in KCMO, that has a lot of weird stuff with it too, because it basically like diverts storms and shit. Like you'll see like a storm rolling in when it gets towards the arch, it'll like
you mean
break
they're in
up.
St. Louis?
Oh yeah, St. Louis. Yeah.
Because it's so they built that because it's so flat and it breaks up the storm. Maybe breaks up the.
Well, a lot of people say it's really not. It's not really just a regular observational arch, but it's kind of like a horseshoe magnet. It's a big Earth magnet. Yeah.
Huh. Never even heard that, but that's interesting.
Yeah,
I've seen the arch, but I've never been. As far as I can remember, I've never been in it.
Might be on some latitudinal line or something that's important, some electromagnetic incurve or something right there.
Yeah. Well, that's what they say that about a lot of the ancient pieces, is that like that one big freaking one in the it's not the Louvre, but the one in England or whatever, or is it England or France? But everybody's seen it, but they all talk about how the arch pieces were actually electromagnetic conductors. They would join the power systems through the earth. Yeah.
Right. That's what the Rockefellers built the arch in New York City, and it was supposed to be originally pointed directly at the Twin Towers were supposed to be in the middle of their arch that they built in New York City, but they were off for some reason because they were using the towers as a sacrifice. There's something weird with that. More arch stuff when it comes to Rockefellers in the U.S. And that's like if you fold the $20 bill, there's the arch over the supposedly burning Twin Towers on the new bills, and then the one where it's standing, there is no arch because the arch was The arch was used as a sacrificial thing back in the Hermetic days or something like that. And the Rockefellers ran with that. You know, they worshiped that. And I think they either did or didn't put the Twin Towers in the center of it, the arch, when you look down the road. Oh, it was supposed to be something else in the center, but really it's the Twin Towers. That's what it is.
Gotcha.
And that's why they used them as a sacrifice. If you want to get real conspiracy.
Huh. That's crazy. Have y'all seen that recent video that they showed of, what is it, Tower 7 or whatever, where they show the detonation going off inside of it?
Yeah.
Really?
There's new, it's like newfound footage, but you literally see it do, and then the whole thing, yeah.
I mean, who would be dumb enough to believe that it fell like that because of debris from the other two towers? Nothing hit Trade Center 7, you know? But nobody even, most people, honestly, when I talk about that, they don't even remember there was a third building, and they forget about the CIA building as well. They just remember the towers going down. I mean, we were attacked 5 times that day, if you think about it. Then that one plane just went straight up missing in PA. You know, you think the government didn't shoot it down, or what really happened to that plane, you know? It's crazy.
And see, I'm all about conspiracy, and I might know things that I probably shouldn't.
Let's hear it.
I don't believe that it was all just, what's the word I'm looking for? A group of terrorists. It couldn't have been.
No way. Conducted by a guy on a dialysis machine in a cave with walkie talkies. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Blacka.
The three of us could do that. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't ever hurt anybody. Nobody take that the wrong way. I'm not like that. But
guys dragging a dialysis machine through the desert in Iraq. It wasn't even there.
Yeah, no, but yeah, that's what I was kind of getting at earlier. The same kind of concept is, you know, they slowly spoon feed us all this bullshit, and we learn it and we grow to accept it as fact. You know, I was recently watching this cat. He's about my age, and he recently woke up. You know what I mean? And he's like, dude, I went to freaking, you know, I joined the military because of, you know, the 9/11 thing. And he's like, and because I believed in, you know, what the government was, you know, telling me. And now it's like, he's like, now I'm seeing all this other shit. And he's like, I'm starting to wake up to it. And I'm realizing that, dude, they were just spoon feeding lies, you know, about all this, you know, everything that we've ever came to know. You know what I mean? And
if I didn't have a 9-month-old at the time, I was considering joining up. But like I said, I had a baby. So, you know, it's kind of hard to join the military with a 9-month-old.
You see, we are making life-changing decisions based on what the media is showing us, because we weren't there. We don't know what really happened. Like, we just have to blindly trust what we see on the crystal ball in our living room, that what we're seeing is fact and what they're telling us is real. And even their stories were all jumbled up that day, you know. And they told us World Trade Center 7 burned because of debris. The CIA building was hit by a plane, that there's no plane. And we don't even question any of that so much. Most of us don't even remember that it happened, which is crazy to me, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they just think the 2 towers went down. But there's a hole in the CIA building where the financial office was, and $45 trillion went missing. All of a sudden, there's a blast right there in that office. There's no plane debris anywhere. The guy that owed World Trade Center 7 took out was it $20 billion insurance policy 2 weeks before 9/11?
Well, part of the reason, not my only reason, part of the reason I don't buy everything is because World Trade Center had been hit before, just not with a plane. It was a bomb in the garage.
Yeah.
That's right.
Why was World Trade Center such hot to trot? We have to blow it up.
We were conditioned to see that our entire lives through the cartoons we watched and stuff. There's this video I saw how they preconditioned us to the towers falling and references to it like 30, 40, 50 years before it happened in different movies and cartoons and stuff. It's crazy. Like the Supertramp album, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. But you know, that's literally how it goes. I mean, you know, my youngest son, poor kid, because now he's got me as a dad that's been you know, awoken to a lot of this shit. You know, I sit there and I tell him, like, dude, it's called an educational program. You know, they're programming you, you know, television programming, you know, the whole 9 yards. It's literally, you believe what we tell you in the story. This is your textbook. This is the truth. Yeah.
That's television. Yeah.
That's what I liked about Art Bell is he would be like, you can believe it or you can't. Do your research.
Right. Yeah.
Look into it yourself.
Yep.
Yep.
Now
the ancient Druids used to. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Mickey.
You're good. Go ahead.
I was just saying that back on what Breezy was talking about, the wording, our modern day wording, the Druids used to go to the hills where the holly trees were because their magic wands were made out of holly branches.
Hollywood.
They would go to Hollywood and television from the hills of Hollywood to the nearby town and broadcast their vision on the townspeople. And that's like why Hollywood is there to broadcast programming to our televisions and influence our minds. It's crazy.
Well, what's funny is I don't even have TV anymore.
What's that?
I don't have TV. We have the internet. That's all we have. We never really watched it.
It's terrible for you. I refuse to watch. I hate when I'm in a bar or a restaurant or someone's house even, and the TV's just on 24/7. Like, I don't know what subliminal audio things I'm hearing. Especially when I'm not even paying attention to any of it. Like all that fear and violence coming through that crystal ball nonstop is I don't like it. It makes me feel weird. Like I notice it. I'm conscious of it. Most people are just like, oh, TV's on all day. They're just blaring commercials in their living room, you know? It's so dumb.
I'm sorry, I don't want to watch Dr. Phil.
I will watch. I like Dr. Phil. Don't take away Dr. Phil.
He's had some good interviews, but some of that stuff, it's almost as bad as Maury Povich.
What you're saying is
it is.
Yeah.
It is. No, I recently, I wouldn't say I take recently back, but in 2019, the company I was working for shut down, and so I was stuck at the house. You know, I was on severance pay, and I was sitting there watching like reruns of Jerry Springer and shit, and I was like, Jesus, dude, this is like the downfall of mankind. And we were like, Jerry.
I can, and I'm sure you guys can too. I can remember when he did decent shows and it wasn't about who's your baby daddy.
It was actual real people. Those are actors out there now. But he's dead, isn't he? Jerry Springer died.
I think he did pass.
Did he?
I liked when the real audience members were there, and they would just get so hyped that they would just start like showing their tits and shit. Remember that? like the ugliest people in the world. They would get so hyped about this tranny is your dad's half horse son. You know, it's like what the fuck? It's hilarious. They were just yeah. Fuck
Google is our friend. I think he did pass, but yeah, Google is our friend, and we're about to see. He did in April of 2023.
Yes.
No shit. Jerry Springer's gone, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. Maybe like back when it was like, what was that other chick? Sally
Jenny
Jeffy
Jones.
Raphael or whatever.
Raphael.
Yeah, back when it was like almost kind of like still investigatory journalism type of shit. But
yeah, it's when we first discovered the real white trash of Midwest America, the rural Bible Belt. We just went down there. Jerry and his Hollywood friends just picked out the worst people. It was like it was a freak show.
I mean,
loved
this
it.
is
Loved
this
it.
is the only second time I've been on cam when I've been on a podcast or whatever, and I've just come to the conclusion I've been cute twice. That's how I got my kids, and now I just don't care what people think.
You're still cute, Mickey.
yeah,
Like I said,
no,
Carolyn, I've only been cute twice, and I've got my son, and then I have an angel baby. That's a story for another night, but.
Well, I'd still hit it, Mickey. You're still.
Oh my God.
I'm just trying to
I needed a good
give you
laugh.
some
It was a
confidence.
rough weekend.
You're laughing because I don't stand a chance?
No, I'm laughing because, honey, I'm blurred.
I got this light. I'm up in the attic of my new house. It's nice. And
yeah, it's funny because I did music for so long that like being attractive or whatever was like one of those things that you had to be. You know what I mean? Because you have to look the part. You know, you have to, and then. As soon as I got out of it, it was weird. It was like a God smack. God was like, no, forget your eyes, your hearing, your teeth, you're gone. And it was a real hard one for me. Like I really went through a difficult time about it, accepting the fact that I was getting older and, not being a quote unquote attractive person, but then I got to the fuck it stage. I was like,
I finally hit that at almost 50. I'm just like, screw it.
Like, part of seeing a band live is seeing them in their humanity. And like, when you go see a band that you like a long time ago, you go see them like now and they're older. It's like, fuck yeah, man. It's like, like this guy's he's a character of the thing that I love, about this band, but he's just a human like me. It makes it more personable. So
yeah,
the fuck you look like, like people should respect that fact more.
Yeah, like before.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
My son saw a picture of like Axl Rose back in in the 90s and the 80s, and he was a good-looking guy. And then he sees him now, and he's like, "What the f happened?"
Yeah, and Vince Neil's really bad too.
This is bad.
It's drug use and years of rocking and rolling and living like you're 25 still.
Yeah. No, it's funny you said that, man, because Creektown, who's in the chat, he was over my crib when we were actually helping set my studio up because he's a technical freaking genius. And I was watching Guns N' Roses, Axl Rose then versus now. Because he always had a GNR hat on. He was always a Guns N' Roses fan. And he was like, turn it off, dude. I can't stand it anymore. He's like, he used to be cool, and now he looks like some fat shit.
He looks like my aunt.
Yeah.
I think they played here at Royal Stadium, and they were kind of comparing, him singing in the 90s to now, and he does not sound the same.
Yeah.
Really?
No,
he does not.
No, he does not. He does not at all.
He's not a
one funny
anymore. Screeching.
Well, but I mean, his vocals aren't even in the same freaking octave. Like, it's bad, dude. And there's another funny one. If you go on YouTube, it's called it's Motley Crue. It's called Word Jumble or something like that.
Yeah.
And you can literally he's like talking about pizza and shit, like, because you can't understand what he's actually saying because he doesn't have it. He doesn't have it anymore.
Yeah,
dude, it's hilarious.
It's like I said, I don't care what people think. whatever. It's more of, I don't want fame. I don't want fortune. I don't mind doing a podcast here and there. I do not want my own channel. That's for a fact. I have a channel, but I don't want, yeah.
You can delete it. You know?
Yeah, I don't, like I said, I don't mind doing interviews. The one we did with Tex last week was fun.
That was hilarious, man.
Oh my God.
I had a great time. I want to do that one. I want to do that one again because, yeah, the horror movie thing can just go for yards, man. Like, it can just endless almost.
Oh, I love horror movies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were on Texas.
Go ahead.
Texas front porch, Westfall. We were on his show. What was it? A week or two ago? Yeah, something like that.
Right about a week ago, because I had Tuesday and Wednesday off. That's why I was able to do it.
Right. All right. That sounds about right. Yeah. And we did a whole horror movie freaking cap, and it was great, man. Yeah, it was great.
You know, like I said, I would do it again. I don't know where I'm going with this. It's like I said, I don't mind doing all this stuff. Now, do I want to tell my paranormal story again? I've told it twice. I don't mind doing this stuff, but I don't want to get into the ghost stuff. That's it's been heard.
Breezy, you want to hear the beat that I make you to rap over?
Sure, man, I'm down. We'll hear a little bit of it.
I'll be right back.
Can I just play it like on live right here?
Yeah, is it on? What's it on? Because you can go down to that invite thing and post it, or you could just play it through a speaker. It don't make shit. I mean, not invite, but the present.
Oh yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
But if it's not online, it'll be muted. It won't have audio.
I'll just do share screen. Kind of messed around with it a lot. It's not. Oh, here it is. Just a little bit. Tell me if you could hear this. Give me 1 second.
No audio. No audio. You'd have to like literally, you'd have to bounce it and then put it like on like either a YouTube channel or something like, or something online, and then you can do it. Fruity Loops. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. What were we talking about?
He's gonna play a beat he's been working on for me, but unless it's like actually online, it won't do audio through StreamYard.
Even if I could talk, even through his phone, he can't play it for us.
Yeah, he could if you through his phone, or actually just through his speaker.
Heck, I already know I can't sing, so.
Yeah, Jackie Creektown's the one who fucking called me and bitched at me because I hadn't put shit on in a couple weeks. He's the only reason I'm on tonight. He's like, look, motherfucker, you ain't put on shit in like 2 weeks. You better get on your show. And I was like, but I did Paranormal Roundtable the other night. And he's like, not on your show. I was like, all right, yeah, you're right. I'm slacking.
I honestly just don't. I mean, like I said before, I just don't have time.
See, my thing is I have time. I just I got to the I get in my how would you say it? I get in my feels about shit. So like I'll literally be like, yeah, and then when I'm at my lows, I'm like, no, not doing it. You know, I'm like I guess I succumb to my emotions at points. So like when I get depressed, I don't want to do shit. I don't want to wake up. I don't want to go to work. You know, I don't want to do shit. I don't, you know. And then when I'm in my uppities, I'm like, let's fucking do everything, you know, like a cokehead. I'm like, we're gonna do it all. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
But,
I'm kind of the same way. But I call it high and low of ADHD.
yeah.
You know, and I ain't gonna. I've talked about it before. I do have depression, but you know, it's more the ADHD that kind of takes over than anything else.
Yeah. Dude, you know what's crazy is well, I mean not crazy, but most people might not agree with me about it, but I really think that like the TikTok thing and the like YouTube shorts and shit like that, I think it administers freaking ADHD to people. Like, because you go there and you watch like a 1 minute video and then you skip and then watch another 1 minute and skip. And then you do that over and over. And the more you do it, you find yourself where you can't pay attention to a fucking movie. You're like, yeah, I've had 30 seconds of this. I'm already ready to move on to something else. You know, it permeated my brain, and I've been hooked on them lately. And now I find my attention span to be, you know, within, if you can't deliver me something within 2 minutes, I'm already over it. And I've never been like that before. I could, you know, I could read the freaking Stand, you know, without putting it down. That's like a 2,000-page book, you know, and now I'd be like, chapter 1. What was he talking about? Never mind. On then.
That's the
We'll
one
go
thing
watch.
I can focus on is if it's a good book, I can sit and read it and nothing will bother me. Not even the cat.
Yeah, I used to be like I actually I picked up the Dark Tower series by Stephen King, and like I'm finding myself with this new shit because I gotten used to watching, and I think, you know, like Joe was saying, you know, Westfall, like the crystal ball type shit. I find myself like instantly getting into dialogue or monologue and finding myself my mind just instantly pulls somewhere else. I'm like, oh yeah, what about, you know, yada yada yada, and I can't grasp the concentration anymore. It's weird. But
Uh,
because I'm an avid book reader, I've read books, you know, my whole life. I'm like, you know, that's like one of the big things about me.
TikTok don't catch me. It's the reels on Facebook. It's
Exactly. That's
basically the
where.
same thing.
Yep, reels. Yep, that's what I watch all day long. Because
Yeah.
I work at a smoke shop, so um, you know, that's all you do is you just sit there and reels, bink, 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 and like I got a claw, monkey's claw, you know, where I'm used to passing it on my phone, like literally.
Yeah,
I just,
and TikTok just hold on. I've got somebody making coffee. Yes, because I'm going to need it anyway. Uh, I don't do it at work because we can't have our phones on the floor. But the minute I get home and even listen to the other podcasters we like, I'll catch myself going through those reels and not paying attention.
yep. Hey, look, I learned how to add stuff to the thing. All right, sweet. I can add comments now. I didn't know I could do that. I always wondered how everyone did that.
Well, it does say on mine where you join the chat, but if they ask a question, I'll answer it.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if any of y'all want to jump in as far as questions or dive the narrative into something, we're totally down.
Yeah, I'm not into the philosophical stuff, but I'll do my best.
Yeah, I was in packaging the stuff that I was gonna do for tonight, and like I came across this crazy shit. Like, look at this freaking.
Oh, we lost Westfall. What is that?
It's a map of the, what is it? So you have rotations of Earth, rotations of the sun, then comet rotations. And it's like a whole map of it. It's freaking weird. And I was gonna get into it, and then I was like looking through it, and I was like, "What the hell, dude? I'm gonna get lost in that shit. There's no way."
I think my audio went out for a second. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
What were we talking about? I forget.
Yes, I do that.
Remember. Oh yeah, I'll send you the thing. I think you'll like it, Joe. I made it. I made it with your what's the
Southside Swing Mom.
Southside Swinging. Southside Swinging Bob. Yeah, Southside Hatchet Bob, right? Yeah.
Southside Hatchet Swinging Mom.
That's what's up.
We just called it SHSM. That's.
I'm surprised you guys get. I don't know how big you got, but I like it. I'm a fan. So much so I had to make this beat for you.
We got pretty big, dude. We got pretty freaking big. I ain't gonna front. I got big enough to get groupies and the whole 9 yards. It was awesome. It's funny, actually. Someone recently asked me how me and my wife got together, because we've been together since like 2008, 2009. And they're like, how'd y'all meet? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, she was a groupie.
Not Jen.
She was a groupie. Well, we first met at a buddy of his wedding, but she had a dude. I was married at the time. And so it was just kind of like a cordial hello. And then fast forward like a few years later, I was fixing to go on stage for Insane Clown Posse and in San Antonio. And I was going backstage to go get on stage, and I hear a Breezy. And I was like, sup, girl? And I was like, even went backstage, I was like, yo, some blonde chick was like, Breezy. And yeah. Now we're married with a kid.
That's all she had to do was go Breezy. And you left your wife and married her and had a kid.
Yeah, pretty much. Kind
of. And some guy said, oh, hey, Breezy, there's the blonde chick over there. It's like, I'm out.
I'm out. I'm not doing the show. You want to go grab a hotel?
Want a divorce? I met a groupie. That's funny.
Technically,
I'm sure a groupie. Yeah, go ahead.
Technically, I have been married, but it was annulled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it like Vegas or something?
No, we with my daughter. Make a long story short, we'd gotten married because I was pregnant, but this ends sort of well. We lost her, and I lost my mind for about 6 months, and then got pregnant with my son. And of course, that wasn't my husband's child, and I ruined that. I fully admit I ruined that. And we just basically decided that it was best to get an annulment, and we still talk, but because Brandon and my daughter look so much alike, it's hard for him. It's hard for him to come around. So,
yeah. Now I have five kids and 5 grandkids.
Wow.
This is fucking weird.
What are you, 79 years old?
You're right. Yeah. No shit. Yeah. Yeah. I was married. I had 4 kids with my first wife, and then when me and Jen got together, I was like, "Don't worry about it. They can't swim. I'm too old." They did. Now I have 5.
And there you go. Well,
Yeah,
after losing my daughter, they said you'll never have any more children. He's 23.
I'm right here.
yeah. My oldest, she's gonna be 30 in 2 years, I think.
Joe, you don't seem old enough to have an almost 30-year-old.
I'm not. I'm not.
My son's 18.
Yeah, my youngest, or my oldest son, which is the 4th child, he is turning 18 in August,
Nice.
and he's a little fucking. You can ask Creektown, that little motherfucker. Yeah, lunch meat's almost 30. Yeah, Creektown. But yeah, he's already trying to be like me, but he sucks because he keeps getting caught. So he's already like, yeah, he's not even 18. He's already got like 3 felonies and shit.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And he's like, no, dude, see. But nah, actually, he talks, and we're American Indian, Native Americans. And, but he talks like he's Mexican for some fucking reason. He's like, nah, dad, see, nah, dude. I
Talks like a chulo?
Yeah, he's like, I stole the car, right? And then cops started chasing me, and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
That's something to be proud of. If your son's talking like a chulo, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think you did
And
something
does he blame El Cucuy?
Yeah, right. No, he just recently got actually Creektown, you'll find this funny. He used to have the fucking Edgar haircut, and I did a show with him on it. And we were doing a hot wing challenge type thing. And I was just clowning him the whole time because back when we were kids, when you had the bowl cut, it meant you were fucking poor. And like you get clowned on for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, your mom put a bowl on your head and fucking just shaved around it. So like he showed up. Yeah, he showed up last night and he's like got his hair on. He's like, almost like military style. And he's like, man, it looks stupid, dude. And I'm like, nah, dude, actually, you look pretty fucking respectable. Like if I was a judge, I'd call it. And he's like, nah, dog, it's fucking stupid.
See, I thought the bowl cut was a standard cut back in the 80s.
Does he walk around like this?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty fucking much, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a little wannabe Joe Breezy.
Remember those kids with the bowl cuts? Some of their bowl cut thickness, I remember. Like sitting behind a kid in 1st grade. He had like hair out to here or something, but then it was just like a hair tree. It was the worst bowl cut I've ever seen in my life. It was like the magical giving hair tree or something. The umbrella tree of bowl cut. It was like water would drip off of it like an umbrella. It was crazy.
I had the winter. I actually had a mullet. Not gonna lie.
You had a mullet?
Yeah.
My mom's seen this right now.
My mom's seen this gymnastics chick that had a semi mullet for a female, and she's like, "You're getting that? Yeah, we're doing that. It's gonna look great." Yeah.
We're getting that. We're doing that. Yeah.
Dot.
I technically had a mullet, but it wasn't what I was aiming for. It was like when Depeche Mode came out, and they'd have it shaved on the side and then long in the back.
Your new wave era.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, I'll get one of those. And I ended up going to Tennessee for the first time in my life. Yeah. And I went to Tennessee and everyone was like, hell yeah, man, right on. I was like, what the fuck?
Breezy's walking around like Skinny Puppy or something. Like,
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck are y'all fucking?
yeah, flock of seagulls.
Creektown,
Yeah.
a mullet does not look good on a female. I'm telling you, I had it. I know it sucked.
I think a mullet looks great on a female. I love
It
it.
didn't. It
If
did
a
not
chick had a
look great
mullet
on me.
now, that would turn me on.
Fisher's
Down for
name.
some-
I have a reverse mullet. You have a skullet,
She probably has some
the
great
reverse
meth.
mullet.
She's got a great meth hotel for a couple days. Just go bang the skullet. Do
Bang
meth.
Lord
Listen
help
to
us.
Ministry. Ministry's first
Ministry.
album. Yes, with sympathy. With sympathy, I mean. I got this.
Dude,
You are a hot mess, Westfall.
I am? Yeah, I know.
Yes, sir, you are.
Yeah.
Is that
Why,
Jason
Vicky?
Voorhees?
Do I want to bang
Yes.
bullets with do meth with them? Who cares? It's living life to its fullest. I'm sorry. I
Dude,
don't know.
That's
actually,
one thing that we
hopefully
didn't
nobody
really
knows on
discuss,
here.
Joe. We never really got into the Friday the 13th stuff the other night.
I'm just trying
oh,
to be,
dude, you'd had me on for
Hours?
I'd be taking over hours.
Oh yeah, I got this fight.
Because people don't break down the actual Friday the 13th. You know what I mean? Like they really don't. So if you just on the general direction of Friday the 13th, you really have like I wouldn't call them genres, but time elapses. So like 1 through 4 is the living Jason, right? Where Jason's actually a living person.
Yeah.
1, of course, he's not
But
on.
You got to remember, they did not show him until the end of the movie in the first one. So technically,
Right. One he's not on, right? And he's only as a kid. And then miraculously, he's a grown ass man in part 2, which is supposed to be 1 year later, which is actually played by a female, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah. When in part 2, when he's walking across the street, that was actually
the first
played
Jason
by a
ever
female.
was a female. Right?
Yeah. And so, but then you have a living Jason, right? So whenever the Jason 2009 came out, the remake, and he's running and shit, and everyone's like, Jason doesn't run. Bullshit. 1 through 4, Jason was like juking motherfuckers. Like he'd literally be juking people and running after people.
To
And
me,
then-
it was more Kane Hodder that did the walking of Jason instead of the running. And
Right.
don't get me wrong, I love Kane. He's awesome.
Yeah, Kane's the shit. But yeah, exactly.
He was running, like violently,
Jason,
angrily running at him.
Yeah, he was
more scary than
run
walking.
after you.
That's frightening.
And then after part 4, which is the beginning of the Jarvis era, right? So
is 4 Jason takes over Manhattan?
No, 4 was that's when they were supposed to originally kill off Jason, but Tommy Jarvis, which was played by
Corey Feldman,
right? That was the beginning of the Jarvis era. So Jarvis took 4, 5, and 6, and that was the Jarvis saga. And then after that was the zombie Jason. And that's when part 7 kicked in. That was Kane Hodder. That was the Kane Hodder era. So Kane Hodder played Jason all the way through Jason X, and that's also when the franchise broke. So there was a point where you saw him being called Friday the 13th, all the way through 8. Which was Friday the 13th, 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Oh, and then then it was Jason Goes to Hell, right? And then Jason X, right? So
Freddy versus Jason,
right? So because the two people that invented Jason or Friday the 13th and Jason split, so one could have the Friday the 13th name and the other had Jason. under their copyright. So that's why it's not called Friday the 13th Part 9. It's called Jason Goes to Hell.
Oh,
Yeah. Jason Goes to Manhattan, Jason Goes to Hell, Jason.
Yeah. They had all those. They had a bunch of comic books too, though, during that.
Yeah.
Same with Hellraiser comics are amazing. Those go right along with the movies, and I think the Friday the 13th ones do too.
I didn't get into comics till probably in the early '90s when I finally got into comics. So I kind of missed out because by the time I got into them, I knew about them, but you couldn't find them, or they wanted $200 for one.
One comic. Oh yeah.
I didn't get into comic books when I was a kid. I did collect because they used to sell comic books at my local skate shop, and I was a skater when I was a kid. And I had the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in black and white.
Well, really?
Comic book. Yeah, I had that one. I bought a Dick Tracy from like 1942 or some shit like that. But I never really got into it. And then as I got older, I started collecting them. And I actually have a bunch of Tales from the Crypt comic books, like original Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, because that was a comic originally.
Yeah, what was crazy is the Crypt Keeper was never the actual dude from the Tales from the Crypt. The Crypt Keeper was, he was like a guest. They would have three different hosts, and the Crypt Keeper wasn't really one of them. He was only on a few of them, which makes it pretty crazy.
What were the other hosts like? They were like other things?
I can't think of them off the top of my head, but they were called it was called like the Vault of Horror. It wasn't even called Tales from the Crypt.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, it was the Vault of Horror. I got them like literally hanging. If you go anyway, behind me, what that looks like, that's what my whole house looks like. And in the next room, I got them up above my bedroom door.
Nice.
Yeah. But I got a creep show. Yeah, I got a creep show in here right over there.
That's cool.
You can see it by the front of my BMX.
Right there.
Yeah. And I got a BMX, and I tried to ride it with Jinkos, and it sucks balls.
I was tonight myself.
You got a real ride if you can't ride with 30 pipe Jinkos, bro.
Exactly, dude. I did. I got on, and I was like, man, I'm going to ride my BMX. And I was like, man, my Jinkos shake my bags.
Fucking the pants would catch the handlebars and you go flipping.
Exactly, dude. It's so freaking heavy. That and the chain wallet, like, I was like, how did I miss that? And I was like, oh yeah, that's right, because in the 80s and 90s when I was riding, BMX and shit, or my skateboard, I wasn't wearing these big heavy fucking pants. I was wearing like Levi's fucking button up bullshit,
Shade gets caught in his spokes. My chain is my spokes, bro.
I was quoting Cartman the night at work when I was leaving. I said, "Screw you guys, I'm going home."
I'm going home.
And I love everybody I work with, but I was done.
Right. Yeah. Just to answer the chat a little bit. Yeah, Allegory. King Hodder was a beast. He still is, dude. Go ahead.
Do you remember? Was he on the set of one of the Friday the 13th when he got burned, or was that on another movie?
It wasn't on a movie. He was actually doing it as a interview, almost as a stuntman, and he didn't look at. He was using rubber cement, and he didn't look at the flammability of it, and so when it lit him up, it just lit him up. Yeah, and he that's actually one of his most painful memories. I was watching an interview with him, or of him, and he started crying because whenever he did light himself up, like his skin was literally melting off of him. And so when he went Kane Hodder, the dude that played Jason in 7, 8, 9, and 10.
That's why his neck is all scarred up.
Yeah. And that's why him and Elvira, Cassandra Peterson, are such good friends, because they're both burn victims. Yeah, dude, she's burnt she was burnt crazy. But he said that the first house that they went to go get help, his skin was dripping off of him, and
good Lord,
there was like a little girl, like a little 4-year-old, 5-year-old girl or whatever. And she saw him and she was just like, and freaked out. And he's like, dude, that was the most heartbreaking thing. Like, that little girl was so, PTSD'd by it that it like crushed his soul, to a point. Yeah.
That happened to me at the hospital the other day when I had poison ivy in my eyes.
I saw that picture. You looked like
crazy, bro. It was
poison ivy in your eyes.
I still have it all over my body. Like, I'm so itchy right now.
You poor soul.
I had poison ivy in my eyes 3 days ago for like a week, and like they were swollen shut. It was, and I went to the ER, and I walked in there, and some kids saw me and started crying, and the mom said, "Just don't look at them." And I said,
"Oh."
And I said, sorry. And then I went, it's good. Like, why am I apologizing? Like, fuck your shitty pussy kid. Fuck him. Look at me. It's an emergency room. What do you expect?
Fuck you, son.
Yeah, fucking kid. You gotta hold your kid. We're in the ER. Yeah. Shit's going down. Okay, we got swollen with monster faces. And then I apologized for some reason. I'm like, why am I saying sorry?
I saw that picture and I was like, dude, that's the worst I've ever seen, other than the time that I held fucking poison ivy and rubbed one out.
Oh, Joe.
I'm just playing.
I was about to tell you poor soul.
Dude,
it may be twice as big.
Dude, I'm telling you,
swole up.
It did swell up. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Zane the cat. I'm disturbing you, but Joe's funny. She's looking at me like I'm smoked crack or something.
I mean,
that's how my wife looks at me. It's cool. It's because I did.
But I took a bath in like oatmeal, baking soda, rubbing alcohol, hydrogen peroxide, and magnesium sulfate like 3 times a day, and it got rid of it in like 4 days. It's crazy. I invented a cure. It's what you got. You just got to soak in chemicals, really.
What was that shit they used to put on us back in the? It looks like bubble
calamine lotion.
Caladrill.
Oh yeah, Caladrill too.
Yeah,
I got that shit everywhere.
With the Benadryl.
It's on all my clothes. But, what happened was there's this vine growing through my garage in the back, and like its roots busted up the concrete, and it's like kind of caving in the wall of my garage. So I'm like, fuck this thing, So I took a machete and I started cutting the roots, like, because I just bought this house, and like, I was like literally ripping the roots out with my bare hands, and with all the oils of like whatever the sumac or ivy was, I was like in its innards, like up in it, because I didn't know what it was. So I basically just like, like had it all the fuck over me, and it was torture. I gotta say, torture.
I think the last time I had poison ivy, my mom had a like a brush pile that we needed to get burned up, because where I live, you have to have a permit to burn. Yeah. And we didn't think twice about it, lit it on fire, and all of us got it from the oils being in the air.
Done for.
I didn't know. Do what?
You were saying? Go ahead.
What happened?
I didn't know that you could set it on fire and the oils could get on you and cause you to break out like that.
Yeah. that'll blind you, or
Yeah.
cause you to suffocate probably.
I was covered in head to toe poison ivy. It sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a story about some Boy Scouts who burned poison ivy. They all died from the smoke.
Hmm.
Oh, no shit. From
Some weed blows.
the smoke getting in their shit. Yeah.
Yeah, their lungs or something.
I
That
can
would
see
be
that.
a hell of
Yeah.
a way to go. That would be awful.
Yeah, fucking suffocation. Fuck.
I guess it would be the most burning. Your innards would be itching like that.
Hmm.
Your lungs, for fuck's sake. Take me now.
I mean, I got stuff wrong with me, but damn, that would suck.
That would be terrible.
Much love, Creek Town. Thank you for joining in, brother. Yeah, so I had to eat the little bit of ice that was with my whiskey. You can't let that thing go by itself.
I'm not even a
Whiskey
drinker
sounds
anymore.
good.
Know that you can't leave the ice.
Nah, everyone's like, Breezy, you've been drinking, because I've been drinking shit. I mean, you know how our
How we
I
roll.
assume we're all in the same pretty much age category. We've been drinking since been drinking.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, nah, you can't keep it up, man. You gotta start eating keel. And I'm like, nah, dude. If I gotta fucking do that shit, I just rather just check out now. I'm not that kind of cat.
To make a long story short, I've lost two siblings to alcoholism, and I have a third on his way out as well. So I don't drink.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, I got actually my brother that recently, within last year, he took himself out, but he was on the severe end of the drinking thing. I'm one of those cats that, like my uncles, right? My uncles, they drink, nonstop, but they're not drunks, if I can put it that way. They're not like people that need a drink. They're not people that have to drink, but they love to drink, and I'm kind of one of those dudes. Like, same with like I used to be, and like my wife is. They're smokers, and I'm not talking about cigarettes, but they're smokers. They smoke day in, day out, nonstop. Wake up, go to sleep, whole 9 yards. And I'm like, damn, dude, that's just like you're talking like $60 a day. And
I
I'm
remember
like,
those days. I used to be one of those smokers.
yeah, me too, yeah. And I'm like on my weeknights and shit, 6-pack, or whatever. I'm down a 6-pack, do a few shots. On my weekends, shit, man, I'm 12-pack. I might, but I'm not one of those. How it's the same thing as anything, but how like whenever people drink so much or they get indulged in whatever, it could be cocaine, marijuana, whatever, that they're not there anymore. They're absent, and and the blackout.
My brother's a blackout drunk.
Right.
Oh yeah. Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not one of those cats. I'm just one of those dudes that are like, like I might get thrown and send somebody a dick pic, but but in the morning I'm like, my bad.
I've seen you on podcast Breezy for 8 hours, and you were drinking the whole time, and I tell maybe a little bit you were drunk towards the end. You were getting tired, but no, you don't seem like you're drunk per se. You just like to drink. I get it. Same thing with me.
Exactly.
I've been drinking so long, but I understand that. You would never know if I was drunk. I could be wasted. You wouldn't know it, you know.
Dude, the dude that I used to rap with, man, Hard Jaws, Mike D, and but I don't care if I say his name. Sue me, nigga. He could drink so fucking much with me, and he'd be like, "Yo, so what I'm really thinking about is about this next song we're gonna do." Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck are you talking about? We're
You
doing a
funny,
song."
You're funny, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
don't get me wrong. Every once in a while, I'll be like, you know what? A beer sounds really nice. But
It sounds good right now, and I haven't had a beer in probably a year.
the last time I bought a 6-pack, I ended up having to throw the rest of it out. Me and my son each had one because he's of age. And the rest of it I ended up throwing out because it went bad.
No shit. Yeah.
To the point I opened it and was like, ooh, that skunky beer. Pour that out.
Right. Yeah. No, I can respect that. Yeah. I mean, at least if you're going to drink something that's worth drinking.
Oh, look, don't get me wrong. I'd love a good spiced rum, but yeah, other priorities, you know?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's what I drink. As far as liquor goes, is Captain Morgan's, because gin drinks.
Really?
Yeah, gin drinks Captain Morgan's.
Man,
So,
that's spiced rum.
It's vanilla sugary rum. So it'll leave you with a fucking hangover. No bullshit. Like, it's great. And you'll be like, fuck yeah, Captain Morgan's. But then the morning you're like, Jesus God, why did I even?
When you get caught on film talking like Jack Sparrow and you're a chick because you've drank so much rum. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, fuck yeah, fucking hanging out over here. Yeah.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Yeah. But yeah,
Go ahead.
I just never got when I was a kid I did, or when I was a young man, I guess you'd say.
You're an old man now that you're saying young man. That's for sure.
Yeah, no shit, yeah. But yeah, like, man, I think about a lot of that shit. Like, man, I got so drunk, one time when I was a kid or a young man that, I shot a car in half, my own car. I was like, yeah. I was like, I want to see if this freaking, I could chop my car in half with a gun.
What?
And it was a 77 Buick LeSabre, which is, yeah. No, I had
I'm getting it.
I had a 308, FinFal 308.
Yeah.
And just, out of a whim, like, and then I look at it now and I'm like, you stupid son of a bitch. Like,
yeah.
I had probably the same amount of drinks that I had back then versus now, and you were still stupid for doing it. And I'm like, man, dude, like, I should, and I think a lot of that has to not just to do with just alcohol intake or, substance intake. But it has a lot to do with like maturity on your mental faction, like, because, I did a lot of shit that was stupid on marijuana, cocaine, methamphetamines, a lot of that shit. I acted like a child. And
how so?
And I don't think that once you mature yourself enough and you understand what the fuck you're dealing with, that you don't act like a child anymore. It's just like being a kid and breaking your big wheel or any shit like that. You want to, now that you're older, you want to preserve your freaking big wheel and not act stupid about shit. Yeah, I'm not jumping it over that freaking 20-foot gap.
Right.
because I want to have my big wheel.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think I've said this in one of the chats that like we watched, Joe. I've been so drunk that I was holding on to the grass to stay put on the earth because I felt like I was falling off.
I've been there
Yeah.
many times myself. That drug. Yeah. It's usually
That's
when you
fun.
drink and smoke weed, like back when you were younger.
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
dude, yeah.
was the
One or the
worst.
other. Yeah.
Sometimes it was awesome, but there was a few peppered in there. I remember just getting so sick from smoking weed after drinking probably 40 daddies at a Browns game or something, you know? Or, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Cleveland-
you're an Ohio
Cleveland
cat.
Browns.
That's right. Yeah.
I'll
I'm
be
in
right
Ohio.
back.
All right, yeah, go smoke a square, girl. I forgot you were an Ohio cat. It slipped my mind for a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I talked to a dude. He was a fucking stoner, and it was right when I started getting into my flat Earth thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Nah, man, I've literally laid on the ground and felt the Earth spinning." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, because you're fucking stoned, dude."
Whoa, bro.
I've probably done the same thing. You know, like I can barely walk from one place to another if I'm drunk as shit because the Earth's fucking moving underneath me. No,
Yeah.
doesn't mean the Earth's fucking around. Because and anybody who's watching it, yeah, I'm a flat earther, and no, I do not give a fuck.
It's flat. There's no doubt about it in my mind.
You're the same way too?
For sure. You
Yeah.
have to, you have to be, it's just, you have to look into it to believe it. But once you look into it, it makes total sense.
Yeah, no, dude, I've gotten past the point where people are like, all right, well, if it's flat, prove it. And I'm like, nah, fuck you.
Yeah.
If it's round, prove it, bitch.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not playing your game anymore.
Right. We're talking about how the media that you believe 100% and everything you're taught with these books by McGraw Company, who was Jeffrey Epstein's dad, wasn't it, or something like that, made all our textbooks.
Some shit like that, yeah.
Am I saying words you can't say on YouTube that'll get you shadow banned?
I don't give a fuck. I'm not monetized, so if they fucking were like, we're shutting that episode down, suck my balls.
Yeah, but you know what I mean though. The textbooks, McGraw Hill was Jeffrey Epstein's grandpa or dad or something. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I think that's fucking weird. I don't even believe what happened at the end of the turn of the 19th century, like with these Cabbage Patch Kids and shit. And these
the orphan trains,
the orphans,
yeah.
My Little Rascals, and these kids living on the streets, like that from these what are they, foundlings, right?
Foundlings, yeah.
I think it's crazy. The cabbage thing is weird to me. I don't get it. I don't know what is. I can't put those things together, but apparently there's some. If you look back on it, you remember seeing different things. Like I just don't get it. Like, did they wipe humanity out, start anew with like some?
That's what I think. That's what it really was. I think it was a one of the many great resets of humanity.
You think it happened so? I mean, that wasn't that long ago. You know, like 1845. Like, when did it happen?
Yeah.
But
I think it's happened. I think it's happened multiple times. Because look at the old pictures and shit. Look at especially the World Fairs pictures.
Yep.
Like there's so much. You don't even have a paved fucking road, and you're expecting 2 horses and a cart. Look at 1895 school buses, right? And that's to carry a bunch of kids to school,
right?
it's not, you couldn't even put that kind of weight on anything that we established as transportation, right? You know, sorry, maybe we got into the flat earth reset kind of a thing.
Oh, you're good. Sorry, in my lease, I cannot smoke in my apartment, so I have to go outside. So you have to forgive me if I interfere. Yeah.
Tell them to suck right. Tell them to fuck off.
I will tell you that I'm in a better environment than I was a year ago. A year ago, I lived in an apartment complex where the drug dealers outruled the residents. And when you would complain about it, well, they pay their rent. We're not going to do nothing about it.
Right.
So moving into a place where they're like, we really don't want you smoking in the apartment, I'm game because I'm in a safer environment.
Yeah, score that.
But yeah, go ahead with the flat earth. I look at flat earth stuff, but I don't know much about it. So it'll be a teaching moment for me.
Well, yeah. So what we were getting in on was
what did you tell you? You told those people to prove it.
No, dude. I just no longer argue the narrative. People are like, prove it's flat. Well, prove it's fucking globe. Like, because it's not. You'll have a lot less. Dude, I was recently watching this thing from the ISS, and they're all like levitating and shit. Oh, we're floating, and the dude has like a ball. See, I can never get the camera shit because it's all reversed. But the dude has like a ball, and he's like, see if I let it go, and it just drops. And I'm like, yeah. Because there's no fucking gravity, right? You know? But it's just horseshit, man. Like, even when we were kids, when Challenger shit happened, and I'm not gonna even get in on the Challenger shit. It always goes. How am I gonna go on the camera? And it always goes sideways, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And they're like, "Oh, that's how you get into the rotation of the Earth type shit." Well, sorry to fucking say, if I'm in fucking New York and the Earth is spinning, then I should be able to raise up, and the Earth will spin underneath me, and I can land in California. Doesn't fucking happen, you know. And people go, "Oh, well, that's because you're inside the atmosphere and blah blah blah." Well, that atmosphere fucking works in its own way. You know, we're gonna have fucking storm clouds rolling in one direction. You know, so it's not exactly like a rotational system. But yeah, I'm not gonna get into it because I will, and fuck, then I'll be on it for a minute. But I'm a flat earther. I don't care what people fucking think or say about it. Just do your research. Yeah,
I can say I'm undecided because I don't know much about it.
Well, you know, that's exactly where I'm at, because I do believe it, but until any of us actually go up and see it, none of us are witnesses to it, and none of us know, quote unquote, know anything. You know, exactly like history. You can be like, oh yeah, this dynasty took over this dynasty, blah blah blah. You're going off a hearsay.
Yes.
You're going off of what people said, what people wrote down. And does people writing down things mean anything? Dude, in the future, you could be like, oh, there's this, there was these 4 kids that
We found
in
footage
real
of a
life.
giant gorilla that had climbed up the Empire State Building with a woman in his
Right,
hand.
right, exactly.
You know, what is
As a-
real? What is this? You know?
As a small example, I've been told since I can remember that supposedly we're related to Buffalo Bill Cody by marriage. Well, when I've done my research on it, I see no proof of that.
Right.
So, just because you told me that we were related to him by marriage don't mean squat when I see no proof.
Yeah.
To me,
Exactly.
it's family legend just to
Yeah.
tie us to somebody famous. And again, I don't even want to be famous.
Right. No. Same thing as when I go on with PRT. If you ever notice when I'm on with Josh and shit, and they're like, yeah, well, this happened and then this blah 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, all right, sure, yeah, I'll agree with it. But is that actually what the fuck happened? Because I wasn't a witness to it. You know, I was never. Believe half of what you hear, or nothing of what you hear, and only half of what you see. You know, I've always kept that in my life.
What I
So
do like about that show, though, is he'll tell you, do your research, decide
Yeah,
for yourself. That's what I
exactly.
love about it.
Yeah.
The other part of it, too, is when I lost my mom, I was 3 or 4 days that I discovered that channel, and I was very welcomed from day one. Nobody blinked an eye when I said, hey, by the way, I see ghosts. They're like, oh, okay, cool. You
Yeah.
know, it's like a family.
No, you're absolutely right. And see, that's what got me into it too. Same with Josh Stern's channel, same with Ninokio's and you know, a lot of that. It was because finally there's a you know, a nugget of truth that I find that, you know, that I feel that I'm at home with. You know, it wasn't because I was like, yeah, I instantly believe it, and you know, just called it my home. It was because I'm seeing people that have experienced and understand the same things that I've seen. You know, whether not cryptids, because I've only seen a handful. I wouldn't even call it a fucking handful. I've only seen like a shapeshifter.
What did you see?
My shapeshifter experience?
Yeah.
So okay. So literally right behind me, there's a road. You go down that road and you come to a main intersection. It's a farm to market road, and you go down this hill. Back in the day when I was a kid, I used to see hyenas, like a family of fucking hyenas going and they cross the road. And I was a city kid. So here I am in my IROC Z28. I'm 1988 Z28 going down there. And that's all you had to do was, you know, because you live in the fucking country, moved out to the country from the city. So be cruising down there and you'd always see this fucking family of hyenas. And I'm like, dude, those are fucking like, you know, like shit I see on National Geographic type of hyenas.
Yeah.
Cruising down there. I didn't know.
African hyenas, huh?
Yeah, with the fucking humpback and all the whole
like
fucking nine yards. Yeah.
Fucking
like he's on Lion fucking King and shit.
Yeah, those things are nasty, dude.
Yeah.
Those are scary.
But I didn't. I was a city kid, and I didn't know that you're not supposed to see that shit. Like they don't exist in North America, right? So
you're like, the country is wild, bro.
Yeah. I'm like
fucking African animals out here.
Dude, I'm seeing for the first time in my life, I'm seeing tarantulas. I'm seeing fucking, what are those fucking, goddamn,
Scorpions?
horny toads for
Mm.
the first
Toads.
time in my life. Like, I've never seen a fucking horny toad in my life. And these big, jacked up, iguana looking motherfuckers are like just kicking it in the yard. And everyone's like, oh, no, man, that's just a horny toad. And I'm like, fuck that. I will shoot that with a shotgun, dude.
Oh,
You
no,
know,
man.
guys-
This is a horned toad.
Oh, man, that's just a goddamn horny toad, man. Yeah. But anyway,
Things like, hey, what's up, man?
yeah. Yeah, no shit.
So
But
bad.
so that spot, that exact spot, didn't fucking. I was talking to PRT about that shit about the hyenas, and they're like, "No, dude, that's not supposed to fucking happen. You were never supposed, that doesn't exist.
You were never supposed to see that.
Yeah." And I was like, "What? Oh, fuck, dude! I used to see it all the fucking time." And recently, I was going to work and going down that same fucking hill, and
Yeah.
okay, you know what a fucking squirrel looks like. You're not gonna get fucked up by it. Squirrel coming from the ditch over here, and when
I wouldn't even
squirrels,
take my foot off the gas.
right, squirrels, once they get into that fucking, they stop running and they start doing that hop ass shit where they're
Yeah.
hopping.
Mm.
We all know what I'm talking about. He started pulling that shit, and he went straight from the pavement, hit the pavement, hop, and then he did like a long hop that went to the yellow line. And I was like, holy shit, that's like an 8-foot fucking jump. And he did another one to get to the other side, and he like folded out and became like bluish gray. I'd say like almost like a battleship blue gray, and turned into a fucking bird and
What?
fucking flew
Wow.
off. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And I
Flip
was
my
like,
shit real quick.
yeah. And I was like, holy fucking shit. That's the first time I've seen it. Never seen a shapeshifter, but I've seen it now. Now, before that, I thought I saw one, and I was cruising into my neighborhood, and I saw this big white, looked like a rake, right? Like a big skinwalker rake looking thing.
Wow.
Mm.
And my throat almost, my soul almost left my body.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I realized someone had shaved the Great Pyrenees that was living in our neighborhood. Like I was like, oh my God. Yeah, fuck, that was that. So I'm not one of those dudes to panic about shit, but whatever that fucking thing was, because it narrowed out and it funneled like this, and then it turned into a bird and fucking flew the fuck off. And I was like, but on this side of the highway, whenever it was coming in, I saw the white streak under the tail. I saw the brown over the tail. I saw the little squirrel doing his little squirrel shit,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh shit, blah, blah, we gotta get across the highway. And it fucking,
That's weird.
fucking flew off.
Who knows what that was?
Yeah, nah.
Like, why would you be? If I was a shapeshifter, the last thing I would be is a squirrel and a bird. What a dumb shapeshifter!
I'm the squirrel master.
Yeah, now I'm a blue blob, but now I'm a bird.
Remember that shit?
Oh, what is that?
What got
He's
me
like-
started into cryptids was two things.
Oh,
In search
yeah.
of-
On Kung Fu on
Oh yeah,
Wow. Yes.
was In Search of, and the 1970s whatever classic Legend of Boggy Creek. That's what got me.
I'll
into
be right back. I gotta go pee pipe.
What? What'd you say? Pete by it.
He's got to go tinkle.
Out of his wee wee. I'm gonna go get something to drink real quick.
Okay.
It's just gonna be you alone on the podcast.
Yeah, well, I'll entertain him with something, maybe.
No, we'll wait for him to get back.
Yeah.
I'm not that thirsty. Where do you work at?
I don't tell people. I just work in retail.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to stalk you at work, Mickey.
It's not you I'm worried about.
I don't have time for that. You're not that important to me. Don't be offended, but I don't have time for that.
I don't need phone calls to my job.
I'm not going to call you.
I'm not talking you, hun.
I know. I'm just kidding.
It's just one of those, I work in retail and we'll leave it at that.
Right. Those big corporations, they'll fire you for speaking on something like this.
Yeah, well, it was a good run if they do.
What's that?
It was a good run if they do.
Sue their pants off.
Like I said, mostly it's there's haters out there, and I don't need phone calls to my job.
Haters are gonna hate, aren't they?
Yeah, they're gonna hate, but I don't need trouble in paradise either.
I avoid the haters like a bad habit.
But yeah, I work for a grocery store. I'll tell you that much.
That's fine.
But no, I don't know if you heard me. It was like Legend of Boggy Creek and In Search Of, especially with Leonard Nimoy. I loved that version.
Yeah. Leonard Nimoy is the shit, just all around.
Hell yeah. Spock, greatest ever.
And I'm one of those latecomers to Star Trek. I didn't really start getting into it until I was an adult.
Me too. I got into it because of the movies I thought were really good.
Oh, really? Yeah.
That's what got, but the show, I mean, it was pretty good, but the movies were it's as with Star Trek for me at least.
Dude, my cousin was such a fucking nerd, and I'll probably have him on the show if I can. But he's got MS now, so it's hard to get him on. But if he knew what episode Star Trek was coming on, he'd give you the captain's log date. He'd be like, Captain's log. Yeah, he'd be like 46123008. And I was like, the fuck? We're little kids. Like, and I was like, dude, I'm just trying to put these Legos together. What the fuck are you talking about, bro?
See, I put Legos on my Lincoln Logs. I was more into like Batman, the original Batman series, a little bit of Star Trek.
68 Batman.
Yeah. Like I said, In Search Of, all the other stuff that none of the other neighborhood kids would get into. I was the nerd of the group. Like, nope, Star Trek, son, gotta go.
Nice. Yeah, my parents were like, shut the fuck up and get out of the house. Lights aren't on. Go home. I'll be like, all right. I'm going to go outside for a little bit. Then.
You should go outside and rollerblade. Instead of skateboarding, I was a rollerblader.
You're a blader, bro? Oh.
Yeah.
Me and you would have fought back in the day.
That's fine. I didn't fight the skateboarders. I just skated away fastly on my rollerblade.
At least it's attached to your foot.
Yeah. I know.
We had to like literally go against freaking physics just to have
jumping off the board. I mean, when you went for a trick on rollerblades, you either did it or you don't, because you can't jump off. You're grinding that rail, or you're gonna be eating cement.
I couldn't even roller skate, let alone skateboard or rollerblade. I'm not coordinated enough.
You didn't roller skate?
No, dude. I was a big little girl. I was not a tiny little thing. So yeah,
I wasn't a little dude. I was
as big as I am now back then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was a fat ass.
Like I was huge. I was the tallest in my school.
I wasn't tall, but I was a cupcake. I was short and fat.
Until 8 years ago, I was always hovering between like 350 and 400. It
Wow.
took me breaking an arm and being on pain meds where I wouldn't eat and all that, and then having to walk everywhere because we didn't have a car. I lost a bunch of weight.
That's why Axl Rose was skinny. He's a drug addict.
You
Well,
know,
I ended up with 4 surgeries. I shattered my radius. I had a plate and everything.
yeah, I still got fucking this. Well, it's hard to see here. I can't do the camera thing. It's weird, but I still got the scars that move with my thumb because they had to tie my whole wrist and arm together because I got hit by a truck because I was going to get a pack of cigarettes that I
You're
hid.
Fuck
Yeah.
you. Because you were going to get a pack of cigarettes, the truck hit you.
Well, okay, so we're gonna go to the store and we're gonna go steal candy and shit. And this is like in like 5th or 6th grade. That's 6th grade, maybe. Yeah, 6th grade. And I was like, dude, told my homeboy, I was like, if we go and get busted for stealing, at least they won't get us for stealing cigarettes because like it would be a less of a charge or some shit, you know, like whatever, yeah. And so I was like, we'll hide our cigarettes over here. And it was on like a main, not a highway, but at least a 50, 55 mile place, right? So it was on Breaker Lane. And I was like, all right, so we'll hide our smokes over there. And then when we get back, then we, you know, so we went and stole candy and whatever the fuck from the fucking convenience store and came back and I was like, oh yeah, we gotta go get our smokes. And my homeboy was like, nah, dude, there's way too much traffic, dude. Don't fucking do it. And I was like, I got this. And yeah, the next thing I know, I was on a windshield and I was on the pavement.
Oh.
And then yeah, it broke my whole arm all the way down my arm. And ended up going to the ER. Long story short, very fucking long story short, I was next to a dead dude. That's how long story short it is. But
Wow.
yeah, so they sewed my shit up, and they were like, "All right, we're gonna put it in a cast." And I was like, "Sweet, we got a cast." And I still have the kit or half of the cast in my mom's group. And very first fucking day back at school, they're like, yo, I heard you got blah, blah, blah. And by a bunch of the punks hit him with the cast, re-broke my shit.
Ooh.
I was in, we were playing dodgeball, broke it again because I thought it was an invincible cast. Re-broke it. And then finally they're like, all right, we're going to put screws in your bones and put me in a soft cast. And that was the last time I fucked with it. And yeah, but I literally have I don't know if y'all can see it right here.
Yeah.
Like it literally moves because it tied into the tissue. Yeah. No bullshit.
I broke my other radius bone last summer. That's why I was off sitting on PRT and all that for 12 weeks.
No shit.
Yeah, I went to go out to my car, and there was I don't know, maybe that big of a hole in the ground I didn't see. My foot caught it just right, and next thing I know, I tumped over and I put my hand down to brace myself because I broke the other arm and broke the radial tip.
Damn.
Just by hitting concrete with it.
Yeah. That sucks, man.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. I
Probably
did
took me
that.
until my 40s to break arms.
Dude, I did that. Like I was it was in my late 20s, and I was doing like 70 miles an hour on a fucking speedboat. My buddy was like, "Yeah, I put a Dodge. I forgot what it was. A Dodge twin turbo in my boat." And he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna see how fast it goes." And we were doing like 75 miles an hour, and I was like, "Yeah, let me just see what happens when you jump out," you know. And like broke my leg, hit my armpit, my foot hit my armpit, and I was like, "Oh, that's not good." And they're like, "Dude, you broke your shit, all the shit," and they're like, just go home, go to the ER." And I was like, "Nah, dude, we're cool. Just kick it till we run out of beer and shit." And I was like, on the way home, or on the way to the ER, I was like, "Grab me beer," because, so I went and got like a 20-pack of beer. And I was like, because it'll be midnight before they let us out, And they're like, "Yeah, you split my femur bone was split up the middle.
Ooh.
It wasn't like broken half. It was like, yeah, from the kneecap." And they're like, "Yeah, I didn't have insurance. I didn't have anything like that." And so I called my brother, who was a pill dealer at the time. And he's like, "Yeah, I'll get you some Xanax, bro. We'll get you worked out, blah, blah, blah." I was like, "All right, bet." Got some pills from him, got nothing from the ER. And yeah, I had a whole party and shit. And I got pictures from the party that I don't remember at all. Like, I'm literally at the party and I'm like kicking it. Don't remember any of it at all. I'm like, yeah.
The ER got mad at me because I had to drive home. I'm like, "Don't give me any pain meds.
Yeah.
I have to be able to get me and my son home." "Well, that's just not right. By the time you get home," I said, "No, no, 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 no." I metabolize meds really weird. We're not going to dope me. And they were considering calling basically CPS on myself because I was refusing pain meds. I wasn't taking care of myself.
I had the opposite. Yeah. That's crazy you say that. I had the opposite.
I'm taking care of the child that's with me. He's not a child, but my son that's with me. But you're more concerned about me not wanting pain meds instead of getting us both home safely.
Right.
It makes no sense to me. Call him. Go for it. I don't care.
Yeah. No, I had not to turn this into like a me thing, but yeah. I had a work, first day of work thing the next day. I had to show up there at like 6 a.m. And I went to bed, and I used to have a lot thicker hair. Like, this is really thin as fuck. But I had a lot thicker hair. And so I went and took a shower, did my thing, dried my hair, yada, yada, yada. And I went to bed, and I woke up at about about 2 a.m. And it felt like, and I do it right now, I'm just touching my shit. It felt like water was draining in my ear, like how you do whenever you go underwater and you drain water out of your ear.
Yeah.
That kind of blubber. Right. And I was like, "What the fuck?" And I thought, "Oh, well, my hair must have drained water into my ear." It wasn't. I went in and I poured hydrogen peroxide in it, like we did when back in the 80s. You pour hydrogen peroxide in your ear, let it bubble out. It freaked out. Whatever was inside of my ear freaked the fuck out. And I was like, all right, well, yeah. And I was like, all right, well, shit. So we're going to the ER. I went to my brother's room and my brother-in-law's room because they were living together in the same house. And I was like, yo, I was like, someone's got to take me to the fucking ER. There's something in my fucking ear. It's freaking out. And they ate a bunch of shrooms and shit.
Oh,
And they're like, nah, dude, we ain't shrooms. We're not fucking, no way. So I was like, fuck. So I jumped in my IROC and I'm driving all the way from Bastrop to fucking Austin, which is a good 30-minute drive. And the whole time this thing's freaking out, you know, like in my ear. And I'm like, dude, chill the fuck out. I'm like, we're on our way. We're calm down. And I'm talking to it, you know, and finally get to the fucking ER. And they're like, well, what's the problem? You know, I'm like, there's something in my fucking ear and it's alive. And they're like, okay, sir, you know, blah, blah, blah. And they go with that ear fucking eyeball thing, you know, and they're like, holy shit, there's something in his fucking ear. So they haul me ass back to the fucking, to one of the fucking, you know, not the
Exam
ER
rooms?
thing. Yeah, exam room, but with the curtain and shit. And they're like, all right. And they're like looking at, doctor comes in and looks at it. He's like, yeah, there's something in your ear. And he's like, now, did you drive yourself here or do you have someone picking you up? And I was like, nah, I drove myself here. He's like, ooh, that sucks. He's like, because I've never seen anybody go through this without someone, you know. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, just grab the bar and hold on tight as fuck. And I was like, okay. So I grabbed the bar. And, you know, like whenever you push a Q-tip past the point to where it hurts,
Yeah.
they went about, I'd say, and you know, just by feeling, about an inch further than that. And they keep pulling it out, and they start pulling out bits of a fucking roach, and they like pull out until they, you know, pull the whole fucking thing out. And he's like, yeah, German cockroaches can't walk backwards. That's the reason. Yeah. He's like, that's the reason. So I get back at, you know, he pulls the whole fucking thing out. Fucking sucks balls.
Now my ear's itching.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, so why can't I hear out of my left ear now? And he's like, yeah, well, he got close enough to your eardrum to where we punctured your eardrum, pulling the whole thing out. And I was like, so you popped my fucking eardrum? And he's like, well, yeah, I kind of. I'm like, not kind of, like, no, fucking asshole. So
that is crazy.
Yeah, so I call into I get back home, go, you know, call into work, and I'm like, yeah, sorry, I'm not going to be able to make it. It's like 5 a.m. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to make it. I was just at the ER. I can send you the shit, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, no problem. Just come in on Tuesday or whatever. And when I get there on fucking Tuesday, everyone was like, it's the ear, the insect ear guy. I'm like, fuck off. You know, like, fuck all y'all, man.
The insect ear guy's here.
Yeah, like that's the roach guy.
This guy's got roaches in his head, bro. Weird.
Yeah, fuck all y'all. Yeah,
Oh, good.
that's my road cheer story, and that's actual factual. And I never slept in the house without a beanie.
Yeah.
I slept in the house with a beanie for the rest of my life.
Uncle Scrooge.
Uncle Scrooge.
His hat and his nightcap. Yeah, I'm always scared of something crawling in my ear. I still do the hydrogen peroxide thing to this day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, because of that reason, I don't want something in my ear living there. Like, because I hear these horror stories like that. And like, you know, when you're a kid, they're like, oh, you eat like 7 bugs a year, 7 spiders when you're sleeping, you know?
Right, yeah.
So
No,
my shit shut.
yeah, no, but that always got to my goat as far as remember it wasn't Twilight Zone, it was what was the other one?
Oh man.
We're controlling the television. We're control.
Twilight Zone.
What was that?
Oh, that's
Outer Limits.
Yes.
Yeah.
Outer Limits.
We will control all that you see and hear.
Yeah, and that's another one. But yeah, yeah, the Outer Limits one where the ear thing went into the dude shit, and then it crawled all the way through, and they're like, oh, the good news is out, but the bad news, it laid babies or laid eggs inside your shit. Yeah.
Was it Creep Show or Tales from the Crypt that had the episode where the guy was like OCD about being clean and all that, and at the end and he had roaches all over him.
Yeah, that was a Creep Show, either 1 or 2. Yeah, I think that's Creep Show 2.
That always freaked me out.
Yeah, the professor that had the white, he was like a doctor looking dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he sprayed it all down, and yeah, they got him. And then they were like, there's no cockroaches in it, and they all came out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was creepy.
Yeah.
I'm not big. I don't like bugs.
Yeah.
You will hear the words, Brandon, come kill it. Come kill it.
Yeah. That's how Jen is. Jen's fucking, she don't give a fuck, dude. She's like, I don't know what it was, but Breezy, come kill that. I'm like, oh, but babe, it's just a little, I don't give a fuck. Kill it.
Now, I don't like snakes either, but those I wouldn't harm because it helps keep the rat population down. Yeah, stuff like that.
See? Yeah.
I don't like them, but I will not kill one.
Same thing. Jen fucking, she's like, oh, but it's just a snake. No, let it out. Let it be good. I'm like, the fuck, it's a fucking snake. And she's like, if it's a spider or a creepy crawly, she's like, kill that motherfucker. I'm like, what kind of what kind of shit have we gotten into?
Oh man.
What's that?
Yeah. Go ahead.
What's that?
Oh, we thought you were saying something.
Oh no, I was just making small comments.
Right on.
I think the beat that I made for you today has been erased. I can't find it. I'll have to do it again. Terrible. It's hours of work gone. Just on my computer. I hate OneDrive. Microsoft OneDrive is complete bullshit.
What platform do you use? Do you use Fruit Loops or do you use fucking?
Yeah, I use Fruit Loops and I use Ableton and I use WavePad to edit samples, and then I use all these different things.
Yeah, no, I'll pay for your shit if you get on like at least fucking goddamn
Pro Tools.
Pro Tools. I don't like Pro Tools. But
What's wrong with what's Fruit? There's nothing wrong with Fruit Loops. It's got everything.
I'm just not a fan, dude. I'm just not a fan. They're too free.
All plugins edition. Like, I don't even
I'll
think
go with you, but Acid Pro 6.0.
Yeah, you were supposed to
Like,
send me that. Did you ever find it? The copy of it?
No.
We talked about that.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I found a keyword for it, but not the actual exe
Yeah,
for it. But,
I'm sure.
but anyway, yeah. But shit, man, we've been on 3 hours.
Yeah.
That was like 2.5 hours longer than I thought I was gonna be on. But yeah, man.
It was fun.
Hell yeah, it was fucking fun. I'm gonna let y'all give y'all's good nights and what's it is. We'll start ladies first. Mickey G. Tell everybody, you're what you love and what it's about.
Take care, all. Love to all. That's what I usually put when I'm leaving the room or leaving chat. So, and it was good being on here. Thanks for letting me join in. I'm probably a little boring, but
Nah, dude, y'all saved my ass, like literally, because I was just rambling. So
I love talking about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's nice to. I mean, we talked about cryptids and all that, but it's kind of nice to talk about other stuff. Like you said the other night when we were on Texas Front Porch, it was nice to do something a little bit different.
All right, well, fuck, I got one more before y'all go. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Y'all. Before y'all go, I'm gonna bend this light over here. All right.
Don't show your dick.
See, that's only a messenger. That's only a messenger.
I know. I get them late at night. Can you please stop sending those?
No, you like it. All right.
Ruining my life.
In what 1983 slasher film ended with a gender-bending twist by the lakeside?
Sleepaway Camp.
She got it. All right, I'll give you one more shot.
Twisted his nuts off.
I'll give you one more shot, Westfall. She got it. In the movie Invasion of the Body Snatchers, what activity are the survivors most afraid of?
Osmosis.
I don't remember. It's been that long ago.
That's going back to the Cabbage Kids. Cabbage Patch Kids.
It's sleeping. All right, I'll give you another one. Yeah, just troll it.
Yeah, because when they slept, they turned into plants. That movie has a lot of references to the Cabbage Kids, like we were talking about, actually. But go on.
Did the Cabbage Kids? All right.
Whatever the fuck.
And this goes for both of y'all. Y'all can run it. What 2005 movie directed by John Goldinger, first horror film for Project Greenlight? I don't even know what the fuck that
was.
I have no idea.
Oh, was it the Blair Witch Project?
No. So we're on to the next.
What was it?
It's called The Feast. All right.
I never saw that one.
I don't. I didn't watch much of that genre. Of
y'all want to know something fucking funny?
Is that the one with Jason Mewes?
Who the fuck is that?
No. That's Jay from Jay and Silent Bob. Jason Mewes.
That's right.
That sounds about right, though. Y'all want to know some fucking quirky, quick, breezy fucking fun fact?
Sure.
All the porn that I own, and I'm saying that.
He's gonna do it, Mickey. He's gonna do it.
No, I'm not.
He's fluffing himself up talking about porn.
No. Is all
ready.
fucking, it's horror porn. So like my
You go to the
favorites,
doctor.
my favorite porns are like Texas Vibrator Massacre, Evil Head, fucking like I love all that shit. It's fucking great.
Hot lunch, naked lunch
The
with the pumpkin guy. He's banging the chick, pumpkin head.
I probably would watch it.
There's
All
an
right,
Instagram
so-
you should follow, Breezy, called Monsters Holding Bitches on Instagram, and it's hot women being like harangued by monsters.
Part
Probably
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got March 6 on some shit like that.
Now you're into henty tentacle porn.
No, but like if you ever watch Evil Head, watch Evil Head. It'll make you fucking laugh your fucking ball sag off. Like fuck the fucking. Like
What?
has nothing to do with it. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
watching your softcore horror porn.
No, it's not softcore. What 2005 movie directed by John Gillinger was
You already
the
asked
first...
that one.
Oh, did I? Okay.
Yes,
The
sir.
feast for the
All right.
win
Thank you, Mickey.
with John Muse.
With John Hughes.
All right, what does the green liquid contain in the 1987 film Prince of Darkness?
Prince of Darkness.
I don't think I've seen that one either.
Mm.
I don't know that movie.
I'm not going to let y'all leave until that was the essence of Satan.
Oh, I got a little of that left over here.
An investigator ends up in Scottish Island where inhabitants have unhealthy obsession with sexuality in this 1973 film.
Wicker Man.
Island of Dr. Moreau.
Mickey got it. Wicker Man.
I've seen
All
both
right.
versions, and I like the original better. Namely because of Christopher Lee.
My
All
favorite.
right. We got it. Mickey's the winner. I
He is
don't
the
have
winner,
any. I'll send her a shirt as soon as I get some printed up.
I didn't know there was an item up for. I would have thought harder.
10 years later.
The hand-drawn white tee says Joe on it.
Says Joe Breezy.
Yeah, it's his old gym shirt.
Yeah.
I have Jen sign it too.
I will. She'll sign it. You only be able to see it in UV, but
It's got whiskey stains on it.
she'll sign it. No.
Goodness.
Good Lord.
Thank you all for having me, and thank everybody in the chat for having me. It was fucking fun. I didn't even expect it, but I'm very proud to have y'all to have me. So one love, man.
Yeah, Joe, you know, I'll back you up at anytime, if I'm not busy, I'll come on.
Yes, ma'am. You're always welcome. Joe, you're always welcome. You want to
Thank
hit
you.
anybody up with your final words and whatnot?
Thanks for having me on. It's always an honor. I love talking with you.
Yeah, it was great.
You're right on level with the knowledge, and that's all I could ask for, and have a conversation. Mickey, you're wonderful. Thank you. It was nice meeting you.
Nice
And
meeting
And
you.
she's hot. She's hot. So
Yeah,
I am not hot.
I'm gonna
I've
DM
told
you my
you I've only
number.
been cute twice.
I'm gonna DM you my number because that second cute run's coming on. I can see it.
Shit.
I'd knock that down 6 ways from Sunday.
Yeah,
God.
come on. Now you ruined it for me.
Hey, at least I can laugh and joke back. So,
I'm not joking.
I'm not joking.
you're choking. Well, never mind.
I'll end on that note. Goodbye.
Good night,
out.
guys.
All right,
Thank you,
y'all.
Joe.
One love, man.
Love you
Thank
guys
you,
too.
Mickey.
Bye, hon.
Y'all be good. One love, and everybody out there looking for the truth, keep looking for it because you're gonna find it. Joe Breezy out.